We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show, episode 375. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week is the one and only, you love him, Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I am doing absolutely wonderful, fool, because what episode? 375?
375, yes, sir.
It is quite a special episode indeed, because now we have a new scholar joining us. It took him long enough, but he's finally crossed that line.
Yes, and we'll get to how we got there in just a moment, but let me be the first to introduce, finally, one-time friend of the show, now a fellow scholar. Allow me to introduce Scholar Jeremy. Scholar Jeremy, how is your evening going, sir?
Oh my God, the scholar, the coach. Oh, it was an honor. It was, wow. It just, you hit your stride, and just somehow I got 11 out of 12 matches right on the card. Charlie screws me over as usual on that one match, but it was enough to get me in as the Scholars of Wrestling. I'm very honored to be a part of this channel. We through the last year, the five of us have bonded, and it's just been a great journey for me to finally get into this. Next stop, hopefully an AEW event, Double or Nothing. We're going to get me to have that Scholars of Wrestling title, but small steps. I got in, we'll move from there. But it was, you guys saw me at the pay-per-view. I didn't cry, but if you look at that picture where I'm like this, there's a little tear right here. I'm like, I finally did
Manly
it.
tears.
It was just, I'm sitting there, you saw me all night. I'm like this. I'm like, come on, just give me this win. Just give me this win. But it was a big mountain, but I finally got in, and I'm just honored to be a part of this channel. Thank you. Thank you so
we
much.
love having you here. And to break it down, it was if you've been following along with us at all, it was a tie, I believe, a three-way tie.
It was a three-way tie, and I'll take the win.
You, Brian, and
Charlie.
Charlie, yes.
Yep.
So there, even though it was not a official title change, it was enough to get you in the door and give you the title of scholar. So congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations on Scholar Brian for his double belts. I give him props to that. I was very proud of him, but just for me to get in, that was the big moment for the night. I was like, holy, I did it. I did it.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to get into all of the other happenings at AEW Revolution. But first, we got to kick things off the right way here on the show with a little segment we like to call Backstage News.
Indeed, we shall go ahead and just show Jeremy. Look. You see that? You see that curtain back there? You can now finally peek behind it and check in on a little Backstage
News. We'll never get that echo right, man.
Never.
Even with Brian, we never get it right. So
we don't. I was on one and we didn't get it right. So
yes. So unfortunately, this is a bit of a tragic bit of news, and also late breaking, as it only happened a number of hours ago as of the night we're recording this. During tonight's live SmackDown, apparently Big E took a really bad suplex and broke his freaking neck.
Oh, that's
no levity intended here, but thankfully he's doing okay. He seems to be in good spirits, but his neck is indeed broken. Honestly, I didn't even catch the suplex in general as it was happening, but the reaction online was almost instantaneous. It looked really bad.
I have to see it. I haven't checked it out, but even though I apologize, I'm not a pro WWE guy, but like when it comes down to the injuries of the performers, I'm always worried about someone. So neck injuries are not to be messed with, because I've had my neck injuries back from when we wrestled in XJW. I've had a neck injury, and it's not something to mess around with. But like Big E, look, it sucks, dude. Take care of yourself. If it's surgery or not, come back when you're ready. It sucks you're gonna miss Mania, but dude, I'm gonna pray that you're doing better, man. I just pray it's not a surgery injury, because those are the worst.
Yeah, Tarek, did you happen to catch any of Big E's injury as it happened live?
Actually, I didn't even realize it was from a suplex.
Those are the
From
worst.
what I've seen like gifs of him falling out of the ring, and I'm just like, is that the moment that they're saying Big E hurt himself? Because it looked like it was just a regular tumble, but now you're saying it's from a suplex. I was just actually trying to see if anyone had a gif of it on Twitter, but I didn't find it yet. I just saw that Big E actually posted a video uh giving updates. It really is a shame. It's like couldn't pick a worse time to just have that situation happen to him. It looks like they were just basically setting up a 6-man tag for Mania between the New Day and whatever the hell Sheamus is going to be calling his little stable with Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne, because I refuse to call him Butch.
Yeah,
And
that was a tragedy.
I think that
WWE's major tragedies with naming, but anyway.
I think the bigger tragedy is just something that I mentioned to you guys is the fact that it's not even just the idea of Pete Dunne in a stable with Sheamus. I actually am a fan of.
That's
but-
badass, dude. That's really
Mhm.
badass. But
it was just, of course, the booking, and now it's just Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne / Butch. Now I'll just think of him as one of the bullies from the Little Rascals.
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, really? You're gonna give him a dumbass name like that? Come on.
But back to looks like they were setting up a 6-man for that one, but now it looks like that one may be out the window. If anything, it'll just probably be another tag team match with maybe like Sheamus and Pete Dunne or something versus Kofi and Xavier Woods when he inevitably, or King Woods when he inevitably comes back. But right now, or it's really tragic, terrible timing. But we're hoping for E's speedy recovery,
Definitely.
especially here on Scholars, considering that infamous picture of the New Day holding the old Scholars of Wrestling Championship.
Yes. I remember that picture.
So, of course, us at Scholars have to hope. Definitely hope for the best. And now one of my bulbs just popped out. So
Didn't even notice.
Yeah, now you could probably notice here with
Yeah, I can see it now.
screen
But
with my screen now.
if you didn't say it, I
blurry.
wouldn't have noticed it, man. Don't worry, you're good.
It was like,
Hey, it wouldn't be Scholars of Wrestling if something inevitably didn't go wrong.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what, thankfully
care
there's
of
a
that.
lot more good stuff to come. After all, we just got done with, no pun intended, with a great AEW pay-per-view, the AEW Revolution, and we also had the pleasure of not only just all watching it together, but we also watched with a bunch of new fans who really haven't seen too much of AEW. And I don't know about you, but I thought it was really fun to watch some of their reactions to the things as they transpired on screen.
Do you want me to take this, Jeff?
If you got something, lay it on me.
I'm gonna say it and probably shoot myself in the foot, but I'm gonna say that was probably the WrestleMania of AEW. It was such a good pay-per-view. It hit every stride, it hit every moment. I had a blast from the 3 pre-shows matches to the very end. We watched each other, we were all hooked into it. It was Chris Sandler versus Layla Hirsch. It was Hook versus QT Marshall, and it was the House of Black versus Death Triangle, which was Pac, my wife will shoot me for this, Penta Obscuro, and
It's actually Penta Oscuro. I did that for like weeks until I
she's gonna
finally
shoot
got
me for
corrected.
that. Yeah, so Penta Dark and Eric Redbeard up until the pay-per-view began to all the end. We had so much fun. My voice was all hoarse the next day, and all of us, I'm just like, best pay-per-view ever. Good, loved it. But I had a blast. I thought like it was for them to go against WrestleMania, like WrestleMania-esque. I thought it was a good setup to literally like really push, like, okay, WWE, here's what we show. What can you do? But I had a blast. I thought I had a lot of fun. The matches are great, and it was just it was a feel good pay per view. I was very satisfied, even though I went 11 out of 12, but it was a very, very good pay per view.
Hey, not everything in life can be perfect, but this card became as close as you can get, at least by pro wrestling standards in general.
Hell yeah.
Starting with just the pre-show matches. Fool, what was your take on the pre-show? What seemed to be a very stacked pre-show, and that might I add.
Well, when it came to the pre-show, I only really saw the 6-man tag between House of Black and what did they?
Death
Because they
Triangle.
didn't.
Let's
They
just
didn't
call
call
him
him
Death Triangle.
Yeah, it's
Because
just
we know Eric Redbeard is not a member, but I was like, did we still call him Death Triangle? I guess sure.
They said Death Triangle as of the pay per view standings, but
Sure. But yeah, I was too busy celebrating at our get together and having a nice cigar with the first 2 matches. But from what I saw in the pre-show with the 6-man tag, it might as well have been on the main card. Like it's definitely the match that would be like, okay, this would get me to buy in the pay-per-view. But yeah, it was a great match, great result, the best result. I loved every second of it, and then it just was a great appetizer to what was to come for the rest of the show.
Oh, yes. And speaking of the rest of the show, we kicked things off on the main card with Eddie Kingston defeating Chris Jericho, which
oh my
I was
God.
I was really waiting for this, and sometimes wrestling is just that simple. Just let the guy who the fans love win. It was hard hitting. And that finish, a submission finish from Eddie Kingston, which looked brutal as anything. I'll be honest, I was just expecting a couple sequences of back fists, and this was a
Yeah.
very pleasant surprise.
When you can get me to scream at lungs in the first match, you've done well. Because I was like, "Come on, Eddie, come on!" And then it's not the stretch muffler; it's a stretch. I forget what the move is called, but it was just. I was like, "Come on, make him tap, make him tap!" And literally, I was screaming the whole match through. It was a good way to like not initiate, but to get Eddie to get that first big pay per view win. He like we were talking on the last episode. He needed that win. He hasn't won a match on the pay per view, and he got it via submission on Jericho. That's how you start a pay per view. You start off slow and a slow burn, then you start building on per match.
And immediately after that, we got Jurassic Express defeating Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. Just back to back, just oof.
Oh yeah, it was.
I spoke my point.
Awkward silences. Yes.
No. I don't want to take over the whole.
It was just
It
was just a really great story that they told in the ring. Just basically, can the two teams that are on the same side, but are also having kind of like a small rivalry, just getting in each other's faces every now and then. Can they coexist? Can both teams let their egos aside and just have the team win the tag titles? And it was just really brilliantly done match. I enjoyed every second of it. I loved I just loved the crew that was watching with us who are not wrestling fans and just casual audience, just really getting into Jurassic Express specifically.
Dan and Kerry, oh my God, they were like, holy cow.
It's like it's a dinosaur.
How many nicknames did they have for Jurassic Express and Luchasaurus?
Oh my God, they had like at least 5 or 6.
I heard Luchasaurus Rex, Jurassic Park,
Dino Man.
There was a couple of
Jungle Boogie. Dan would said Jungle
Boogie.
I was like, no. Yeah, he was like, yeah, go Jungle Boogie. I'm like, no. But like, I was gonna say, from that triple threat tag match, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus had like the best spots of that match. They like pulled everything out. The tag team combinations, dear God, they were like shining in that match. Like I love the Bucks and Red Dragon, but they did moves. But oh my God, those two like Jurassic Jurassic Express just did everything, like the combo moves and stuff. I was like, holy cow, you guys really shined on a pay-per-view for that. For that, just it's insane.
And to immediately follow that up with Wardlow winning the Face of the Revolution ladder match, I have to admit this made a lot of sense, but there was a part of me that was still expecting someone else to take this one, but still, damn, what a spectacle.
Oh, it was I think the star of that match was Orange Cassidy.
After that bump, dude, after that crash,
not even just the bump. Beforehand, just him standing with the three big guys of Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, and Keith Lee, and he was just doing his normal thing, kick. And when they all started going after him and they just ended up wrestling each other, Orange Cassidy just runs up on top of them and starts reaching for that gold ring. I didn't even realize he was going for the gold ring at first. I just thought he ran up and just did like a thumbs up power pose, just like, yeah, I got this. But
I like that moment, but I like the moment where who was it, Wardlow and Keith Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, and then Cassie like pulled up on the ladder and to reach for it. That's something you don't see.
That was
in a ladder.
fantastic.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Hmm.
And it's even nice getting a little cameo from wow, why am I blanking out?
Danhausen?
Danhausen.
Yes.
Why am I blanking out on Danhausen?
The curse.
Because you are cursed.
Because Danhausen has cursed me. He's cursed me forgetting his name, apparently.
I'm just pissed that, like, after watching Revolution and Dynamite to see what's gonna happen with the TNT title, I'm a little pissed at that. So I'll give you the short version. So I was hoping Sammy was gonna retain on Wednesday, and then Wardlow was gonna win a week later. But the fact that Scorpio Sky won on Wednesday, I'm like, it's not gonna happen because they're gonna build the MJF feud. I'm like, just come on. I had a good story going, and you guys change it, but it's just it was. But Wardlow got his moment, so we'll see what he's gonna go through in the next couple months. But
yeah, and if they've got if they're gonna start the program between Wardlow and MJF right about now, he really doesn't need the TNT championship right now. Meanwhile, Scorpio Sky, I think he can do a little bit more with it right now.
Oh, he completely deserves it after everything he's done. He really deserves that belt. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. While we're on the subject, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but let's just talk about it. And I want to talk about it because, damn it, this was my match of the night. CM Punk defeating MJF in the dog collar match. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Go ahead. I'll go last coming a gush for a couple minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is my contender for match of the night, match of the year at this point. I said before, all they need to do with this feud, which again, feud of the year, all they needed to do was just stick the landing and have the match be good. And the match was good from start to finish. We had the fake out intro from MJF. We had CM Punk coming out to his old school Ring of Honor theme. Even right from the get-go, it was great. The pacing was great. The psychology was great. The blood, everyone bled all over the place. And the ending with the fake out from Wardlow, the scream from MJF, Wardlow, and then just one shot from the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Pow, he's down. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Just everything about this was perfect. And it was just a job well done on everyone's parts. And it was that perfect face turn from Wardlow that everyone's been waiting for this entire time. Bravo to all men involved. Tagging someone in. Who's got next?
Dark, you want this?
I'm also going to say that this one is match of the night for me. Mainly, like, before when I thought about it, it was one other match that we're going to get to later. But when it comes to the match itself and when it's story being told, yeah, everything that was told in this match, in that ring, was basically chef's kiss. This is hands down my feud of the year so far. And the match ended exactly how I wanted it to end. I gave hints about it, but I didn't go into full detail because not everyone here has seen Kung Fu Panda 2.
I have.
So you can understand where I was going for how I compared the characters to other characters and how I'm thinking. Now we see where this villain is coming from, and it's the hatred that basically is his downfall, and that pretty much was this case when Punk gave him that one last chance before hitting him with that ring. And what does MJF do? Spit in his face. Nope, you gave in to hate. Bam. So yeah, it was a beautifully told story. I want them now. This is now the ending of the story. I am perfectly happy with that. And I was just the question on where do you want to see CM Punk go after this?
All right, so I'll piggyback off that. For me, I'm gonna make a lot of big statements. This basically became my "You're welcome" of the moment, Scally's right now. It's contender for match of the year because it was that well done, and it's feud of the year right now for me. It's 3 for 3. They did it so well. Everyone saw me. So MJF comes, so they hit the Punk theme song, Cult of Personality, and then MJF comes out and the fans get pissed off and they play his original Ring of Honor theme song, which I'm an old school AFI fan, and just hearing all of a sudden, I'm like, what the heck's going on? All of a sudden I hear that. Dun, 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 dun. Like, I'm an old school music fan, and just hearing that song and knowing where Punk came from and watching Punk from, he'd say it 20 years ago, I was so hooked in that match. I'm like, I sang every lyric, I sang every moment. I'm like, holy shit, he's got his old school apparel, he's got his old school song. I was in the moment, and then just from every moment of the match, like them fighting it out. Personally, for me, was where MJF goes, "Why don't you quit, Punk? Like you could when he like you quit on me years ago." And Punk looks him dead face. He goes, "Eat shit, Max." That's a good storytelling,
And it
and
got a
just
chant,
yes,
which I
eat shit,
loved.
Max. Eat shit, Max. It was that match probably is gonna, unless they can, which they will, they probably will pull something out in the next 3 or 4 pay-per-views, but it did everything right. It was match of the night. It hit every note. It was just the GTS into the thumbtacks, and then Wardlow walking out, and MJF looks at him and goes, "You got the ring?" And he's like, "I don't have the ring. I don't have it." Yeah, and I heard MJF go, "You had one job. You had one job." And there's the GTS into the thumbtacks, and Wardlow reaches in his pocket and goes, "Oops." I'm like, well done, sir. Well done to set it up. And he drops the ring right in the mat in the mat and just gives it a Punk. That's great storytelling. That's how you do it in the best way to get the fans invested, and just like it's long-term storytelling at its most best. I can't gush enough about this match. It was just, that was my one night, like just seeing Punk come out just to I can never pronounce it. Miseria Cantare, just for me, if I was like, I almost cried because not hearing that song in 20 years, I was just like, you guys just, you did an old school wrestling fan proud with that song. Just, it's
You struck a heartstring.
multiple heartstrings, dude. I was sitting there and I was like, I go to everyone, like, if you know the words, sing them. And I was singing, it was me and Charlie singing the whole song through that whole intro. I was like, because Charlie and I have burned that. Him and I have listened to the album so many times, so we had to buy the album at least twice because the CD broke. But it was such a good match. That's how you do it right. Let's go on to the next one. Sorry, I could gush forever. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Give it 9 months. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this all over again.
9 months later, Jeremy, would you shut up about Punk's interests? Sorry, Ben, moment of the year, but
hey, it's going to happen. We know.
So Jeremy, what did you think of that Dynamite episode? I don't know. CM Punk coming out to his old Ring of Honor music. What does that have to do with anything? Punk wasn't even involved in the segment.
It would, until Wardlow showed up and did that promo on Dynamite. That was very impressive. I'll give him props to that. My wife was like, okay.
Okay, the man can talk.
Yes, he can.
Adam
But
Cole
speaking
won
of-
the title. How do you feel? CM Punk, Ring of Honor.
AFI.
That's it. I'm done with you. I'm out.
It's probably gonna happen, Tark. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh, I'm expecting it now.
Speaking of tugging at the old heartstrings, elsewhere we also got Jade Cargill coming out as Jade from Mortal Kombat and whooping Ty Conti's ass.
She looked like a superhero.
The kiss of death. That was the kiss of death. Oh my god, I did not see that coming.
I laughed out loud. I'm sorry. I love good old JR. It made me happy. I'm just like,
He's-
I love JR. Now he's just an old timer. It's like, I don't know these characters that I've been around for almost as long as I have in wrestling.
And then my nerdy fighting game self was about to be like, actually, it's Jade from Mortal Kombat. Don't be a nerd. But I didn't have to be that nerd because apparently Excalibur beat me to it. So
Because
Yes,
Excalibur
you're a
is
big nerd, Excalibur.
he's the man on commentary right now. But I give him props for that.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I do like the way Excalibur is on the commentary team. He's gotten very good at his job.
He's on point with our generation. He's able to mix the new fans and the old fans. That's why I
Mhm.
like, and he makes little references. I'm like, I saw what you did there.
I understood that reference.
Mhm.
I just
But then
can't watch
we
him.
also got John Moxley defeating Bryan Danielson, and
Oh,
a surprise William Regal appeared.
I was very happy about this. This was my number 2 match. It was very close to being my match of the night, but I wasn't necessarily a fan of the roll up pin. It made sense, but I'm just now no longer a fan of roll up pins, even if it's told well.
It felt
Because
inconclusive.
it really did, and
I
it was
disagree, but go ahead.
it was a good highlight. It at that once Regal came out, at that point just I didn't care anymore because I was completely nerding out. Like I collapsed on the floor just going excited the possibilities. I love it. And then, of course, me being like, now all this stable needs is Claudio Castagnoli to show up, and and I'll be on cloud 9. I will be so happy. That will be my you're welcome once that happens. I'm not saying if. Once it happens.
When
It is inevitable.
I like Tark. I only disagree on the point that I love seeing Piper and Hart at was it WrestleMania? Oh, crap, WrestleMania 8 where he rolled him up. I love stuff like that. Brian had Moxley beat, and Moxley did a different pin. He rolled him over, and he had that stupid friggin' leg choke that he does with the arms up, and he friggin' pinned him. I'm like, okay, that's different. That's why you don't be cocky and act like an asshole and put your arms up, and because you get pinned by that shit. But the fact that he flipped him over, he pinned him, and then Regal comes out and is like, all right, you need to cut the crap. You need to cut the crap and put this together. I'm like, because I'm an old school Regal fan. Like I've been watching Regal since '95. I've been watching him since WCW days, and I saw him come out, and I was like, my wife was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. I'm like, give me a minute. I'm like, oh my god, and Moxley just comes up and just that crap, and like, I'm gonna say it. Moxley got it worse. Bryanson did not get it as bad. Moxley got cracked in the face with that smack of you have to behave yourself. I was like,
You got the dad slap.
yeah. Friggin' Danielson got okay, you know your role, knock it off. Moxley got the friggin' behave yourself. I was like, oh, but just that's how you do good storytelling. Minus he
Mhm.
ran a little over on Dynamite, but shit happens. But who
And
cares?
meanwhile, no one really cared except it was just Regal being polite,
Oh,
which
exactly.
says a
Regal's
lot
the
about
man.
him.
He's the man.
Speaking of being polite, Britt Baker defeated Thunder Rosa, unfortunately, but a lot of people were pointing this out. I want to know if you noticed it. Some people, if they know they're going to lose a match, tend to have like a less excited expression on their face or have a bit of a sourpuss look on their face.
I
Apparently, yeah, Thunder Rosa came out with that.
I didn't catch it when she did, but what was throwing me off was on Dynamite she pinned Britt Baker in the tag match, and I'm like, okay. If you look at the previous episode of the prediction, you look at me and I'm thinking for a second, I'm like, something's off. And it was I wanted to go with Thunder Rosa, but I literally was like, I stuck with her because I was gonna go to Britt Baker because I'm like, it's something's off. Something off. I'm like, but they swerved me. What can I say? They swerved me, but it was just it was a heartbreaker moment because if I had that, I would have gotten the perfect card. But it was just I'm interested to see what they're doing next week in St. Patrick's Day Slam.
Yeah, supposedly that's gonna be in our hometown, so maybe they'll do it then. But
I don't know.
As of right now, I don't know.
I don't know the distance between where they're going to be. It's Texas versus Mexico. It's a short miles, but she's probably going to win. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, who knows? And in our penultimate match, we had a trios match. We got Darby, Sting, and Sammy Guevara defeating the AFO. I'm just going to call him the AFO.
I call it the AFO.
But yeah, we got a fun quick little intermission brawl thing happening. Darby's flying all over the place. Sting is flying off of the rafters and through a bunch of tables, far more tables than a 60-something-year-old man should. And they walked away with a win. It was a perfect palate cleanser of the main event.
I can't add anything to that. It was a good, other than just Sting going through 3 out of the 4 tables, and I'm just going, I have the table every time. Every time when there's a table not breaking, I am the table. I'm gonna get that shirt.
I can add I love Scar O'Brien, but fuck you for being right because I called it. He called it. I was like, oh yeah. I said Isaiah Cassidy's gonna lose and then he's gonna kick him out, but no. Lo and behold, what happens? My favorite fucking wrestler other than Stone Cold Steve Austin shows up on Dynamite. Fucking Brian, he always fucking knows this shit. I'm sorry to drop F-bombs, but he knows this crap and it pisses me off every friggin' time.
Damn it, I got what I wanted. Damn it.
Minus that shirt looks ugly as shit. I will tell you that new Hardy show looks awful. But
it's not surprising because Jeff was his 90 days was up on Wednesday. So again, it was just another inevitable. It's like, oh well, he's not going to be at Revolution. So
there's always going to be more Hardy's shirts. It's got to happen.
I'll take the one from 2016 where it's the logo on the back. It's the two of them facing away from each other because this one looks like a Frankenstein shirt and they look like it's not a pretty t-shirt. I'm not going to buy that. And I have almost every Hardy shirt. It's pretty bad.
Wow, that's saying something.
Most of them are signed too.
Oh, there you go. Boom. And with that, we are at our main event, and Hangman Adam Page did end up beating Adam Cole. We saw it coming. We knew what the result was going to be. We did not. I don't think any of us saw the Master Chief gear from Adam Cole, baby. But everything else is just as expected. And even though I think a lot of us were getting kind of tired at that point, the match was sound. It kept everyone awake and going and invigorated. And we got the result we wanted, I think.
Oh yeah. The only real highlight, it was a very good match. The only highlight that I really got out of it was from the crowd. Was just, let's go, Adam. Adam sucks. Let's go, Adam. Adam sucks. They were just really having fun with that idea.
Yeah, in hindsight, I'm a little surprised that no one really called that. Like, oh, hey, there's going to be a whole bunch of Adam chants. Like, no one's going to do that. Like, that was a pleasant surprise. It really was.
And just the fact that they actually booed Adam Page when he tied Adam Cole's hand to the ropes. Apparently that the crowd did not like that.
Yeah, I was
actually very shocked about that.
Yeah, I can see it in general face and heel stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just saw it in terms of like general face heels. heel stuff, where again he's supposed to be the face. He's not supposed to do things like that. But the more
no.
Adam, no. But really, the more I started listening to the crowd, it seemed like they were just all memeing aside. It seems like the crowd was relatively split, at least more so than normal for this one.
Very split. Very split. It was like
Adam
they were.
Cole, baby.
Yeah, it was Adam Cole, Bebe, and Hangman, and just the fans could not decide who they wanted to win. But I had a blast with that match because I was
Well,
like,
of course they wanted Adam to win.
yeah, exactly.
Duh.
And you like my wife, she goes, are they just doing Adam chants? I'm like, yes, because Adam Cole and Adam Page. What are we gonna do here? And she's like, I just like Adam. I'm like, oh,
It was
Get
too
out.
much fun of a joke to pass up, I think. It was just like, yeah, as much as we both like everybody, I think it was just more fun to make Adam jokes.
Yeah, personally, me,
Mhm.
I call me the contrarian. I did not like his Spartan gear. I thought it looked stupid. I did not like his entrance. I was like, really, Halo, dude, come on.
Yeah, that one didn't quite work.
If you're gonna win the belt, you're not gonna walk out in Spartan gear. You're gonna walk out like in gold or something. But I was like, and I've been watching Twitter, and people are just like blowing up. Oh, we love his Spartan gear. I'm like, it's okay. Sorry.
That's
it's
that's
good.
interesting because I feel like I heard more negative reactions to Spartan gear than I did positive
Interesting.
ones.
Yeah, I heard a lot of I saw a lot of positive this week, and interesting.
Full, let's let you be the tiebreaker here. What kind of reactions did you see for Adam Cole's entrance gear?
I don't care.
I do not play Halo.
I do not play the Halos.
I've only played Halo when we were only going to gaming lounges, and that was decades ago.
Hmm.
So I'm taking
Oh yeah, that was
myself out
Halo
of this.
2, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm taking
Oh,
myself
God.
out of that conversation. I don't care. So I'm not looking for what the people's response was to his entrance. So
But I do give a
I
quick
don't
side.
care.
I do give a quick side note because my wife and I were watching Dynamite on Wednesday, and Hangman came out in the same apparel with the rainbow tassels and stuff, and she goes, "Is that the same outfit from Revolution?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "But in WWE, they don't wear the same thing every single night." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna wear gear and throw it in the trash the next day. What's the problem? Come on."
Oh, newbies.
It was funny. I didn't call her. I'm like, I'm sorry, but like they wear one outfit in at a pay-per-view in WWE, and then you show up the next day and they're wearing something new. I'm like, what, you just throw in the garbage? You throw in your bag? When's that showing up? And I'm like, that's cool. I actually see him get to see you twice in 2 weeks. Awesome.
And with that, that is the
Yes.
show as a whole. So before we wrap things up, let's kick it over to our final beard ratings for AEW Revolution. Tarek, let's start with you. What is your final beard rating for AEW Revolution?
I'm gonna give this one a goat face. 5 stars, 5 beards, goats all around. I had so much fun with this. There wasn't a moment where I was like, I'm actually really bored. That never happened. I was on the edge of my seat with every match that I watched that were not the 2 matches on the buy-in. Uh, I was very happy with this show. I'm thinking WrestleMania is not going to top this at all. It's not even going to top it with 2 nights, and this only had 1. AEW just Revolution was a great show. It was a stacked card going in, and it did not disappoint coming out. So yeah, 5 goat face.
I'm going to share that score with you. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 goat face scoring pay-per-view. Beginning to end, you could find stuff to nitpick, sure, but when the rest of the card is that strong and that much fun, why would you ever want to? 5 stars, goat face, boom. And Scholar Jeremy, give us your first official beard rating as a scholar. What do you got for Revolution?
We have a consensus. It's a 5 out of 5 go face because it was such a good pay-per-view, even for the last minute like matches they threw in on Rampage. They hit their stride, they hit every moment, and I can say as us as friends and scholars, we had a blast. From 7 o'clock till what was it, 12:30 at night? We were glued to that screen watching it. It was so good. They told very good stories and just keep telling better stories as the pay-per-views go on. I can't praise enough from AEW. WrestleMania. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Yes, indeed. This was one. It's very rare that I end up watching a show and I think, oh, why am I feeling kind of tired? How late could it be? Oh, wow, this one went late.
Yep.
But you know
Mhm.
what? It was worth it. It was great for every minute of it. We hope you all at home enjoyed the show as well. So before we sign off, we're going to kick it over to you. So let us know what you think of Revolution. What else is going to happen next with the storylines coming out? Did you win anything in your local betting pools? We want to hear from you, so drop us a line all across the internet, Facebook posts, YouTube comments, all over social media, including our personal favorites, the Twitter machines, starting with at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads every single week. Or you can join the conversation yourself on our personal Twitter accounts. Scholar Jeremy, where can they reach you?
They can find me at Hero Huey 316, and I will be here as often as I can. And I'm looking forward to be a scholar. Hell yeah!
Hell yeah, indeed. Welcome to the team, sir.
Thank you.
And Scholar Tarek, where can they reach you?
You can find me at the Avataric.
And you can find me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join in the conversation. There's lots more adventures to come, but you already knew that because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
See you all next time.